All a very happy and prosperous happy Diwali. I'm Rekya and this is my friend Vaibhav and we'll be your host for tonight.
Unfortunately, you have to be with us for the rest of this evening until we get to dinner. India is a land of diversity with numerous cultures, regions, religions, languages, yet united as a proud nation. So with the theme of our evening celebrating this unity in diversity, we will try to capture a glimpse of different cultures, their subtle nuances, and what makes us one of the most colorful nations on this planet, no pun intended. As some of you might know, Diwali is the festival of lights, and it's one of the biggest festivals celebrated across the whole of India. With the different cultures and different beliefs, every region has its own unique way of celebrating Diwali, and interestingly enough, their own reason behind this festival. The traditions and celebrations are diverse, and so are the stories.
Wait. So I get the diversity of the country, that we have different cultures, different languages, but Diwali is one festival that's celebrated throughout this country. So are you telling me there is diversity even with that?
Of course. Every region associates Diwali with different gods, and we have millions of them.
Oh gods. I was thinking more in terms of food, because I associate Diwali with foods and sweets. Oh, and shopping, more shopping, oh my god.
Well, try to associate it with giving a share with you, and please, shopping. I know the usual gifts I give are those dry fruit hampers that I get from other people at the previous Diwali. Besides, gifts should not become the main point of such a happy occasion.
Well, whoever said money can't buy happiness really didn't know where to shop. Right girls, am I right?
So, coming back to the main point, why do we celebrate Diwali? As I was saying, there are different stories behind this festival, and we would like to share one of them with you, as told in the mythological tale of Ramayana.
Okay, so this is the map of our epic India. Long time ago, there was a king of Ayodhya named Dashrath, who was married to three beautiful wives, Kaushalya, Sumatra, and Kekai. Kekai was the most beautiful wife and dearest to the king. She once saved king's life in a battle, so as a reward, the king granted her 2 wishes. Please remember the name Kekai and the fact that she was granted 2 wishes. This is very important for our story. The king was blessed with 4 sons, Shatrughan, Bharat, Lakshman, and Ram. Ram is the incarnation of Lord Vishnu and also the main character of our story. Ram had a beautiful wife, Sita, who was known for her beauty. Many men were interested in her hands, but she chose the bravest and the most virtuous, Ram. The entire kingdom of Ayodhya was happy and celebrating their wedding. Things were going really great, but no story is interesting unless there are twists and turns and climax, or as we like to say, masala, which basically translates to spice. So this is where things get really interesting.
Now, Ram was supposed to succeed King Dashrath as the new king of Ayodhya. But remember, as we said before, the king had granted 2 wishes to his beloved queen, Kekai. So she takes this opportunity to ask for 2 wishes. First, being that her own son Bharat becomes the new king, and the second, that Ram is exiled from the kingdom for 14 years. The king was heartbroken, but burdened with the vows he had made to the queen, he asked Ram to leave Ayodhya. Ram, given the devoted son he was, left without even a single question. Sita, being the beautiful wife, accompanied Ram in his exile. They were also accompanied by Ram's brother Lakshman, who worshipped Ram.
The king could not bear the pain of losing his son and fell into a swoon and passed away. Kekai's son Bharat, the ideal brother he was, refused to accede the throne and pleaded Ram to return back to Ayodhya and take his responsibilities as a king. But Ram, being the ideal son he was, could not deny his father's wish. Hence Bharat said that there will be no king of Ayodhya until Ram returns back after 14 years. The kingdom of Ayodhya belongs to Ram and only Ram, so he decided to rule only as a caretaker.
It's interesting to see the love between stepbrothers. Bharat declined the throne of Ayodhya for Ram, and Lakshman actually accompanied Ram for 14 years into exile. So far, we know the hero of the story, Ram, the heroine of the story, Sita, but whenever there is a love story involving a hero and a heroine, there has to be a villain. And my friends, Kekai is not the villain. The main villain of our story is Ravana, the king of Sri Lanka. He heard about Sita's beauty and wanted to marry her. So what did he do? Well, given how complicated matters of heart can be, he kind of did the most obvious thing that most guys do when they have to usually resort to when they like a girl, using sorcery.
So, he first sends one of his servants in disguise as a golden deer. Sita was mesmerized by the beauty of this deer and implores Ram to get this deer for her. Ram, being the loving husband he was, takes his wife's wish as his command and goes to hunt for this deer. As this was a sorcerous deer, he could not be caught easily. Ram ran miles and miles in order to catch the deer. But finally, when he was able to catch the deer, it turned into a demon and impersonated Ram's voice, "Help me, help me." Sita hears the voice and asks Lakshman to go into the forest and look for his brother. Now Lakshman is in a huge dilemma. Ram had ordered him to stay with Sita while he was gone, but he also fears for his brother. So, what Lakshman does, he draws a fence around the house, which he calls Lakshman Rekha, and he tells Sita that as long as she stays within the fence, she will be protected. He tells her very, very clearly, do not step out of this circle.
Now, Ravan takes advantage of this situation and visits Sita disguised as a priest. He asks her for some alms. Sita kindly asks him to come inside in Lakshman Rekha and take the alms. But Ravan knew that if he crossed the line, he would be burned. Hence, he forces Sita to come out of the circle to give her the alms, else he would curse her. Poor Sita has no choice but to come out of the circle. And the moment she steps out, Ravan reveals his true identity and kidnaps her. He flies her away in his chariot and takes her to his kingdom in Sri Lanka. Any Sri Lankans in the house, by the way? Yeah, no offense, but your ancestors might have been dudes. When Ram comes back, he's shocked to see that Sita is gone. Now things get even more interesting. He forms an army of monkeys, quite possibly on steroids, to go fight against the big army of demons fighting for the evil Ravana.
Now, as we all know here, India and Sri Lanka are separated by an ocean. So, in order to reach Lanka, Ram had to cross the ocean. Now, if only there was EasyJet in that time, but unfortunately not. So, Ram and his army constructed a bridge with stones across the ocean and traveled to Lanka. For the trivia maniacs, the stones, he wrote the name Ram on the stones so that the stones don't, sink in water. And fun fact, that bridge can still be seen from the satellite images. So in all, there's a big chance, guys, that in Sri Lanka, there were definitely demons.
Well, eventually, a fierce war was fought, and the army of monkeys destroyed the army of the demons. Finally, there was the big face-off between Ram and Ravana. Now, the Legend goes that Ravan was almost invincible, but we had insider info. A righteous brother of Ravan called Vibhishan informed Ram that Ravan could be defeated only if he was hit in the belly. So there we have it. Good defeats evil, and you have a happy ending. Finally, the 14 years of exile were over, and Ram, Sita, and Lakshman returned back to Ayodhya. The entire city of Ayodhya was decorated with lights, and everyone was happy and merry, and they made sweets. Ram finally became the king of Ayodhya and ruled it with Sita for a long time. His return back home was such an important day in Hindu mythology that we celebrate it as Diwali. Hence Diwali, the festival of lights. What's up with you?
This was such a cute and romantic story. It's every girl's dream that her man is strong enough to fight villains for her. It's just so cute and adorable.
Yeah, and every man's dream is that his partner will ask for a golden deer. When it's really diamonds, which are the girl's best friend.
Hey, it was a golden deer. She was still going for the bling bling. What's wrong with that?
Well, if that is another one of those trick questions from the girls, I'm not going to even try to answer that. As that would lead to never ending argument. And luckily we have to proceed with the evening.
Yes. So, moving on, now since everybody is acquainted with one of the stories behind Diwali, let's start this evening by praising Lord Ganesha. And since we like to do it in our own unique way, we have Jagannath, Prashant, Nupur and Mizoho dancing to the tune of the traditional song about Lord Ganesha.
Please welcome them on stage.